I'm here in the Fred W. Smith Football Center where Brett Bielema today introduced 22 Razorbacks. On Saturday, the Razorback football team fell in a hard-fought game to the Ole Miss Rebels and are actually no longer bowl eligible. All right, Hog fans, Brett Bielema started his career off at Arkansas at 2-0 with a 31-21 victory over Samford, and he was able to do something the Hogs weren't able to do last year, and that's win at Little Rock. Mike Anderson asked and who will step up, and Michael Qualls answered that plea. The Hogs won on the road at Vanderbilt 77-75. It's another day and another win for the University of Arkansas. The Hogs improved to 3-0 on the season after an impressive 24-3 victory over Southern Miss. The program is called the Office for Sport Concussion Research. Now, the main goal of this is to get the word out about the importance of college athletes when it comes to concussions. Now, the program is called the Office for Sport Concussion Research. Now, the main goal of this is to get the word out about the importance of college athletes when it comes to concussions, and not only them, but high school and professional ones as well. I spoke to the head of the program to get his opinions on it, what it's about. I also spoke to a former college athlete to see how important it is to get this concussion research out to future athletes. Stories of athletes getting concussions and returning to the game without proper care is causing concern. This is something former Division III football player Dalton Person experienced during his 17-year football career.
So while I never had any particularly diagnosed, the information and the testing that we got over my 4 years in college, I really feel as if I had probably 3 or 4.
Person, now a graduate student at the U of A, has made the transition from football to school, which makes school life a lot easier because of the fact that concussions also hurt a student off the field as well.
When you do get a concussion and it causes you to sit out for 3 to 4 weeks, you don't get to take 3 or 4 weeks off from school.
With the high number of athletes getting concussions, questions have started being asked, what is being done to help these athletes out? Well, at the University of Arkansas, a new program is being started to help get the word out. The U of A has a new office with the sole purpose to research the impact of concussions.
Currently in this area, there's little research going on, and we're excited to be among the first to kind of have a concerted effort to better understand this injury.
The program's purpose is to further reach the issues of concussions, and Elbin says there is one little-known issue that programs hope to bring to light.
Other athletes actually demonstrate a much quicker recovery. So understanding why some athletes take longer and why some athletes recover quicker is kind of the ethos of this project.
One major question with sports is would parents still allow their kids to participate in physical sports like football? For Person, he would allow it, but with a different guideline.
If he loved the game as much as I did, I would allow him to, but I don't think as early as an age as kids are allowed to right now.
Now, I asked both RJ and Dalton what the biggest problem was when it came to concussions, and they simply said it was athletes who got hurt during the middle of a game and they just refused to come out or talk to their coaches or their trainers as well, just refusing to come out of the game. I also asked Dalton if he would do it over again, if he's a little bit nervous about the future of what happens to him when it comes to football concussions, and he said, no, not really. Most people that play football just do it for the love of the game. Haley.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 8th head coach of the women's basketball program at the University of Arkansas, our own Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy?
I will not let you go. I know you won't.
The Razorback women's basketball team has a new head coach in Jimmy Dykes. Dykes is the 8th coach in program history, and athletic director Jeff Longnose, the new man in charge, has the right mindset.
Because he believes in a higher calling, something more important, and that's impacting the lives of the student athletes in our program.
I told him when I shook his hand, I will not let you down.
Dykes' emotion for the university showed throughout his press conference. That's the same passion he also had as a former walk-on at Arkansas. A lot of people might doubt his coaching capabilities, but this wouldn't be the first time someone's doubted him.
I was told 15 years ago at ESPN by my boss that I would never be one of their top guys. So when I was told no 15 years ago, I didn't accept no. And I will not accept no with this program either.
A major problem with the women's basketball team is the low attendance it brings in. Arkansas didn't rank in the top 60 in average attendance this year, which is something Dykes is going to change.
The fan base that's here tonight is as large as some of the crowds we've had in the past. Those days are over.
While Dykes has never been a head coach, he's been an assistant for 6 different universities and an NBA scout. But the newest Razorback coach believes it's his work as an analyst for 10-plus years that has best prepared him for the job.
I'm a better coach now, having spent 15 years at ESPN doing my job, than I was before I was an analyst.
Reporting for UATV Sports, I'm Brett Rorie. I'm here in the Fred W. Smith Football Center where Brett Bielema today introduced 22 Razorbacks. Now most of these kids aren't on campus, but there are a few exceptions, and one exception is a guy that everyone is looking forward to, quarterback Rafe Peavy.
After a 3-9 season, Arkansas football fans didn't get to call the Hogs a whole lot last year. But freshman quarterback Rafe Peavy could be a major reason why Razorback fans hope to see improvement this upcoming season.
Rafe was offered by the previous staff, and thankfully he was, because he's a very, very good young man, and a great kid to have in our program.
Peavy chose Arkansas over 20 different scholarship offers. Even with all of the interest from other schools, after arriving on campus, the freshman quarterback knows he made the right decision.
But, I've always kind of had, the Razorbacks in the back of my mind, and just to have this opportunity to actually play for them is something, I'm really thankful for it.
Arkansas quarterbacks last year statistically were one of the worst groups in the SEC, but stats were no problem for Rafe his senior season. Peavy put up over 3,000 total yards with more than 40 total touchdowns. Looking at his numbers, it's easy to understand why Brett Bielema is ready to see the new quarterback in spring practice.
I'm excited to watch him handle not just the spring game, but all the practices, all the preparation. I think he's just, he's what a quarterback's supposed to be.
Not only has Peavy caught attention on the field, but off the field as well. The freshman went on a one-man campaign to try and convince numerous Arkansas recruits to sign with the Razorbacks on National Signing Day.
I think sometimes that's good to hear from a player's perspective, because they're always getting recruited from coaches and everything. And, I went through the recruiting process. So, I know what's being said to you. Some of it's not truthful. So, just kind of telling them what's up.
To get you even more excited about Rafe Peavy, let's look at some history about him. His mother and father were both Razorbacks here, and his dad was a graduate assistant for the football team. All right, Hog fans, Brett Bielema started his career off at Arkansas at 2-0 with a 31-21 victory over Samford, and he was able to do something the Hogs weren't able to do last year, and that's win at Little Rock. But the game was a little bit closer than most expected.
Obviously, they're frustrated. I think we defined several things to show them how you can lose a football game. There's a lot of teams that would have lost that game right there.
Now, Brett Bielema will look to go 3-0 next weekend when he goes back to Fayetteville and faces a Southern Miss Eagles squad that hasn't won a game in 2 years. Reporting for UATV Sports, I'm Brett Rorie. Arkansas baseball earlier today looked for the sweep against Grambling State. Luckily for you, UATV was there to cover the game. Now let's get things started. Michael Burnell out there getting some sun and doing some yoga pregame action. Alex Simpson on the mound, or Phillips, on the mound, trying to get his first win as a Hog. Can he do it? Well, let's find out. Eric Fisher going fishing early in the first with a double in the left center gap. Scores 1 run. Arkansas up 1-0 early, but they're not done there yet. Brian Anderson back. Almost gone, but he settles for a triple. Scores Clark Egan. Arkansas up 2-0 in the third. Now, it's good to see offense, but they always say defense wins championships, and Phillips shows why. Fields the grounder, goes 1-3 on the putout. But scary moment here in the fifth. Tyler Spoon fouls it off his face, but don't worry, folks. Spoon's sanity is still alive and well. Base hit up the middle. Look, he's so fast. He got the first base before Brian Anderson could even score, so he's fine. While the Hog bats were impressive, it may have been the bullpen that really won this game for Arkansas. Bullpen throws 6 innings, strikes out 6 Grambling State Tigers. Arkansas goes on to win 8-0. Eric Fisher leads the Hogs, going 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and an RBI. Up next, the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Coach Dave Van Horn says this win against Grambling couldn't have come at a better time.
We got off to a good start there, and I think second inning or first inning scored a couple runs and pretty much had the game in control. It was good to get a win and get ready for Alabama.
The Arkansas Razorbacks fell to the Auburn Tigers 35-17 on Senior Day, but unlike the last 2 games for the Razorbacks, they showed some resilience.
I know our guys invested a lot in the last couple of weeks. I can't argue with the way they prepare, their effort, their attitude.
Coach B preaches every day. He doesn't want us to give up and give in. We want to fight to the end every game.
The Hogs will now travel to Ole Miss in hopes of getting their first SEC win in over a year. Reporting for UATV Sports, I'm Brett Rorie. Razorback men's basketball team got their season up and rolling as well. And legend Nolan Richardson was there and excited for some Hog basketball, but this fan wasn't. Apparently something more important on his phone, and boy, he missed some great action. Cody Clark with a big slam to get the ball rolling, and Antoine Bell continued the action with a 3. Bell led all scorers with 18 points and shot 60% from the field. But the highlight of the night, that goes to Mr. Walk-On-Air, Michael Qualls. Qualls threw a tomahawk chop slam-a-rooney over a 6'10" defender and introduced us to the new hashtag Fayetteville Flush. And the Hogs went on to flush SIU 99-65, and even with the offensive success, it was the Hog defense that impressed the most.